And Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz telling One America News that the Biden administration's border policy is dangerous and intentional. Here's One America's John Hines.
With migrant encounters at the southern border at a 21-year high, Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz is speaking out about the Biden administration's lack of a plan to stem the, quote, extreme illegal entry and the Biden administration's refusal to repair or complete a border wall, which, according to Congressman Gaetz, actually has a taxpayer-funded warranty. Congressman, is the Biden administration, in the person of Homeland Secretary Mr. Mayorkas, essentially working to dissolve our borders?
Yes, and it's on purpose. What the American people need to understand is that this is not an unsolvable problem. The Trump administration did a number of things that really reduced the flow of illegal immigrants into our country, and now it's not as if they don't know what to do, it's that they're actively taking destructive steps. So, for example, there are places where in the desert the wall that's been built needs a repair, needs a new part. But Joe Biden's executive order stops us from even utilizing our warranty rights to get the contractor of the wall to make necessary fixes. We have seen the largest numbers in history coming across our border during the Biden administration, and at the same time, John, we have record low deportations. ICE is on pace to deport the fewest number of people in the agency's entire existence this year, and so that pull across the border and then the inability, the unwillingness to push people out who've got active deportation orders has led to a compounding dynamic that is dangerous and intentional.
So I think that the number of encounters, according to the Border Patrol, in March was a little over 200,000. Do we have a sense of how that compares with a comparable period, say, in the Trump administration, for instance, sir?
Well, I mean, when we were encountering 60,000 a month during the Trump administration, we thought it was a catastrophic disaster. And that's why Secretary McAleenan and President Trump ensured that we could return people back to the Northern Triangle who were coming here. But now on the border, it's not just Guatemala, Honduras, El Salvador. It's like the United Nations down there. You got people from India, Sri Lanka, Romania, Ukraine, almost anywhere in the world. Dozens of special interest aliens who we're looking at for their potential ties to terrorist organizations. And when the word is out in the whole world that we aren't serious about our southern border, that doesn't just create a problem in our neighborhood or in our hemisphere, but it creates a global draw factor, and it endangers not only our economic security, but our national security as well.
So I believe that Secretary Mayorkas, Homeland Secretary Mayorkas, who of course is in charge of the border security, the Border Patrol down there, is going to appear before your committee, the House Judiciary Committee, I think sometime in the coming days. What do you suppose will be your number one question, number one or two questions you'd want to put towards Secretary Mayorkas?
I'd like to know what Secretary Mayorkas' plan is to deport the people who are not in our country legally and who have active deportation orders associated with criminal process that's been done in this country. My belief is that there is no plan to deport these people, which will evidence for the American people that we are living in the era of catch and release. Americans don't want catch and release, but that's what we have. And I think demonstrating that to people will set up really the Republican control of Congress that's coming. My prediction, John, is that when Republicans take control of Congress, Ali Mayorkas will either resign or he will be impeached. And in the coming days, when we get him before the House Judiciary Committee, I think you'll see the opening salvo of our effort to really expose and demonstrate not just the bad decision-making, but the purposeful dissolution and destruction of our border that the Biden-Mayorkas policies have brought forth.
Matt Gaetz, Congressman Matt Gaetz of the 1st Congressional District of Florida, thank you so much for talking to us on One America News, sir. It's a pleasure to catch up with you.
Always a pleasure, John. Look forward to seeing you in Washington soon.
Thank you, sir.